Narberth Castle is an ancient stronghold site of medieval castle ruins. This site was once a Norman period wooden Motte-and-bailey, then in later years it was rebuilt as a stone castle. Narberth Castle stands on a strategic hilltop guarding an important medieval route and fort. It may have been the site of a Dark Age palace mentioned in the Mabinogian stories, but from an accepted historical perspective, it is first evidently mentioned in 1116 AD when it was a Norman fortress. Burials have been found in the Outer Bailey, so the site may have had a small church, but when the castle was rebuilt in stone during the 13th century AD, a new church was built on the opposite hillside to the castle. A village developed between the castle and the church, which later became a market town. This picture is based on how Narberth Castle would have looked according to a survey in 1539 AD. Narberth Castle has an inner bailey and an outer bailey, which were originally separated by a deep defensive earth ditch. The inner bailey was rebuilt with stone walls and towers in the 13th century AD as commanded by Earl Roger Mortimer, but the defences of the outer bailey may have always been constructed of wood. Narberth Castle was a residence as well as a defence. Comfortable lodgings were built in the 13th century AD. Early Gothic detail, as in the illustration, is conjecture, but it is typical to the 13th century AD period. The Welsh hero Sir Rhys ap Thomas spent much money on Narberth Castle in the early 16th century AD to ensure it was a comfortable residence. However, Narberth Castle became a ruin during the 18th century AD. Here are some relevant coat of arms which were probably associated to some extent to Narberth Castle.